basic grip is to pick up the cue as if you're going to hit someone over the head with it, but there's a lot more to it than that. Approach the table so that you can lay the cue along the line of the shot you're going to play. Now the stance. There are two basic types, and incidentally throughout this video all references will be to right-handed players. There's the modern day square on stance, which is the Steve Davis and Stephen Hendry way. And there's the left foot in front of the right. With both, the left knee is bent and is parallel to the line of the shot. The right leg is straight and braced. Your weight must be slightly forward. The height and physique of the player will help determine where he puts his left foot, but his right foot will be in line with the shot so that the cue moves directly over it. There are reasons why one or other of these stances might be better suited to you, but at the end of the day the most important point is that your stance provides you with a firm and solid base which allows you to deliver the cue through on a straight level line. Now the bridge. This is formed by placing the hand on the table, spreading the fingers and drawing up the knuckles with the pads of the fingers and heel of the hand gripping the cloth. Cock the thumb to make a channel for your cue, with the first finger at a slight angle to give the cue further support. The bridge must remain perfectly still throughout the shot. The V formed by your thumb and index finger helps you with the line of sighting and also helps to keep the cue on line. We can now put together the basic elements of the grip, stance, line and bridge. You'll note there are a series of straight lines from the back of the cue, along it, over the bridge, to the centre of the cue ball, to the centre of the object ball, to the pocket. Notice how the cue is level and the weight of the body is slightly forward. And you'll note too that the cue moves directly over the right foot. If you look from behind the pocket, you'll see the same line in reverse. Pocket, object ball, cue, bridge and more cue, finishing in your cue hand. You'll also see Terry's eye line along the cue. If you look at his stance side on, you'll see that he's bending from the hips rather than the waist, and that the cue is just brushing his chest. Let's go through the basic points again. Grip the cue as if you're going to hit someone over the head with it. Approach the table so that you can lay the cue along the line of the shot. Whether you stand square on or left foot in front of right, your left knee should be bent, your right leg straight and your weight slightly forward. Your cue should move directly over your right foot. Form your bridge by spreading the fingers, drawing up the knuckles and gripping the cloth with your fingers and the heel of your hand. Make a channel for your cue with thumb and first finger. Above all, deliver the cue through in a straight level line.
Let's now have a closer look at the grip, which very few players give enough attention to. I'd go as far as to say that among players of 50 break standard or better, 70% of their problems are grip related. All the great players deliver the cue through in a straight level line.
To achieve this, the WPBSA recommends that the cue hand hangs straight down from the arm so that the top joint of the thumb and the top joint of the first finger are roughly level. They form the shape of a V. The thumb and first finger then close round the cue. The V is now still in position but less pronounced. The other fingers then come onto the cue, acting as a cradle. In a nutshell, the thumb and first two fingers carry the cue, while the third and little finger fold around the cue in a relaxed, natural way.
If you grip the cue too loosely, you lose control of the cue. But if you grip it tightly, your cue action will tend to be too stiff because you won't be able to move the cue with any freedom. The V coupled with your first finger help you to keep the cue on line.
There should be a vertical line bisecting the centre of the cue towards the back of the grip. The elbow should remain still so that the lower arm moves as a pendulum. In summary, the thumb and first finger should form a V which closes round the cue. The other fingers act as a cradle, with the thumb and first two fingers taking the weight of the cue. Your back arm should be vertical from elbow to wrist at the address position. The elbow should remain still so that the lower arm moves as a pendulum. Having seen the formation of the grip in its stationary position, now let's look at how the grip functions in the backswing. Here's a simple check. Bring the cue into a vertical position and with your other hand pull the cue towards your face. This will give you a feel of how the grip functions during the backswing as the back three fingers release. From the address position, allow your first finger and thumb to start the backswing. Couple this with a backward movement of the forearm.
During this motion, the second, third and little fingers start to relax their grip on the cue. This helps to keep the cue level during the backswing as the wrist starts to come into play. The V and first finger must stay in contact with the cue throughout. This helps to keep the cue action under control.
To summarise then, your first finger and thumb start the backswing. During each backswing, your second, third and little fingers relax their grip to keep the cue level. The V and first finger stay in contact with the cue to control it. Every visit to the table, you have to make a decision concerning the pace of the shot you wish to play. Your grip position, and therefore the length of backswing and follow-through, should be decided before you approach the table. These factors decide the pace you want to generate. To help you decide, let's scale the strength of shot from 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, 1 the softest. Form your stance, making sure that the tip of the cue is almost touching the centre of the cue ball. The length of bridge from the tip back to the V of your thumb and index finger should be between 9 and 12 inches. Your left elbow should be slightly bent for comfort and stability, and the right arm should be vertical from wrist to elbow. You are now in the correct position, and at the back a gap has been formed between your grip and the point on your chest you must hit on your follow-through. Now mark your cue with a pencil where your cue bisects the V. This helps you to keep a consistent distance between the cue ball and bridge hand. It also allows you to check the length of your follow-through. Terry also has a ring around the butt of his cue. This is where he normally grips the cue in the address position. Your normal address position will be used for 70% of the shots you play, which on our scale will be shots ranging in strength between 5 and 8. Your follow-through will be between 4 and 5 inches. For shots ranging in strength from 1 to 5, you should move your grip forward of the vertical, which will cut down your follow-through to between ½ an inch and 3½ inches. For harder shots between 9 and 10, the power shots, your follow-through can be as much as 6 or 7 inches. You achieve this by moving your grip back from the vertical. A warning, however, don't overdo this as it's easy to lose cue control. The follow-through is completed when the right hand hits your chest. Now you must combine what we've just demonstrated with the required length of backswing to control the pace required for each shot. For many years, the length of backswing has been a major topic of discussion between coaches. Some think the longer the backswing, the smoother the delivery will be. Others argue that a shorter backswing cuts down the margin for error. The WPBSA recommends that for shots strength 1 to 5, your backswing should be between 1 and 4½ inches. For shots strength 5 to 8, your backswing should be between 5 to 8 inches. And for shots strength 9 to 10, your backswing should be 9 to 11 inches long. With practice, This will give you the correct balance between backswing and follow-through for all shots. With this method, you'll develop a smooth rhythm, allowing you to deliver the cue at a constant speed, regardless of what pace the shot demands. It'll also greatly improve your timing. It's all a matter of balance. Too long a backswing can allow errors to creep in, while with a backswing that is too short, unwanted body movement could occur. Never forget that the length of your backswing is doubled by the time your tip returns to the cue ball. This applies to every shot you make. Like all things in snooker, practice makes perfect, or as near perfect as you can get. Use the balk line and cue to the brown spot using a short, medium and long backswing in turn. Short, medium, long. This also checks the line of the cue, as you can see the shadow against the balk line. Now you can move to practicing by hitting the cue ball over the brown, blue, pink and black spots, using the various strengths on the scale to help you develop that all-important ability to judge pace. With practice, this will become quite natural, and it's an ideal exercise for players who are striving to improve their cue ball control. Later in this video, it'll become apparent how you use these skills with the cue ball and object ball together. Most players start to play with their cue right under the middle of their chin because they see everyone else doing it. That's the right place if you're even-sighted, with your left and right eyes being of equal strength. But Karen Corr is right-eyed. Joe Davis was left-eyed, and John Parrott favours his left eye too. Cliff Thorburn is another, but Neil Folds is a right-eye sighter. So too is Gary Wilkinson. Some players try for years to play with the cue in the wrong place, so you need to discover which is your master eye. Place a piece of chalk at one end of the table and stand directly in front of it at the other end. Point your first finger at the chalk with both eyes open, then cover your left eye. If your finger is still pointing at the chalk, you'll know you are right-eyed. To confirm this, now cover your right eye. If you have to move your finger to keep it pointing at the chalk, that's further proof that your right eye is indeed your master eye. Perform the same test for your left eye. If you're left-eyed, your cue should travel directly underneath it, and vice versa for right-eyed players. In the light of this, you may need to alter your stance so that you can get into a more comfortable position to line up your master eye squarely behind the cue ball. Finally, the more right-eyed you are, the more square on your stance will be. The reverse applies to left-eyed players.